Hello everyone, in this video we're going to look at the new features and improvements that Microsoft is making available with Windows 11 version 23H2. For the release date and other details, please check the video description. It is important to note that Microsoft was supposed to release version 23H2 with many significant changes, but then the company decided to roll out most of the improvements through the October 23 Patch Tuesday update as a moment update for version 22H2. So if you install the October 2023 update on your computer, then you have most of the features and changes already available. And version 23H2 will only deliver the remaining improvements, and it will switch the version number from 22H2 to 23H2. Also, this new version extends the support of the operating system by another 24 months for Windows 11 Home and Windows 11 Pro. If you don't have the update, then version 23H2 will include all the new features available with the October update plus additional stuff, and the update will also switch the version number to 23H2. So with that information out of the way, let's dive into the new features for Windows 11 version 23H2. As part of this new version, Windows 11 introduces Copilot, a new AI chatbot that integrates with Bing Chat and first and third-party plugins. Copilot appears as a sidebar dock onto the right side of the screen, and it won't overlap with your desktop content, and it will run uninstructed alongside other applications when you click the button from the taskbar or when using the Windows key plus C keyboard shortcut. So as you can see, if we open multiple instances, actually if we open different applications, you're gonna see that the Copilot interface will push content to the left side, and if you close it, then you can take advantage of the rest of the screen, but the interface of Copilot will not overlap on top of your content. Similar to Bing Chat on the web or on mobile, the AI experience can help you to answer complex questions using natural language, and you can ask for rewrites, summarization, and explain content without even opening the browser. For example, let's just write, what is Windows 11? And the assistant will get that information from the internet, and you can see we get a straight answer without having to open the web browser. Of course, to use it, you will have to be signed in with a Microsoft account. However, you don't need to have a Microsoft 365 subscription in order to access this feature. The new assistant can also help you to take actions, customize settings, and seamlessly connect across your applications. For example, you can ask Copilot to change the color mode to dark. You don't need to use specific keywords as you would on search. You will simply just ask naturally. For example, change to dark mode. And because the chatbot is integrated into the operating system, it can take the action for you. So now we're gonna click yes. And as you can see, it switched to the dark mode automatically. And it seems that because I took some time to confirm the change, it also added some text to help me out to complete the task. I was just going to change color mode to light. You can also ask to perform different tasks, such as turn on the do not disturb feature, or get help taking a screenshot, or even summarize a website and more. But just remember that this is a preview and the responses are limited, at least for changing setting. Also, Copilot is technically the experience that replaces Cortana, since the company already announced that it will be retiring the digital assistant before the end of 2023. I have a video dedicated to all the biggest features on Copilot, and I will be leaving a link in the video description so you can go and check that out for more details. Now let's switch gears to File Explorer. Although File Explorer still has the same familiar look and feel, it has been rebuilt from the ground up. For example, this new version of Windows 11 includes a new file manager that uses the SAML programming code and the new Windows UI Library 3 framework from the Windows App SDK. What all this means is that we are getting a new file manager that has modern code while still preserving the same experience as before. In this new version, you will find three main visual changes, including a new homepage design, a new gallery view, and improvements to the header interface. The redesigned homepage retains the familiar design, but it's been updated to use the Windows UI Library framework. And technically, you're not going to see a lot going on the page, unless you're connected to a domain network. The only thing that you're going to notice that's different is that the font and how you select, for example, quick access, now it looks a little bit different with bold fonts and this new hover highlight. The file manager is also getting new design changes for the header interface. For example, all the navigation controls are now aligned to the left side, as you can see right here, and the search box on the right. The commands are now sitting under the address bar, blending in with the rest of the background instead of the header as in previous versions. In addition, the buttons are also getting some visual updates, but they are settled. In the address bar, the experience no longer shows the green progress bar. Instead, the tab will now show a spinning animation indicating that the location is loading, as you can see right here. In addition, now when you are in the OneDrive folder, when you click the icon, you will now see this drop down that will give you some information about the OneDrive storage. And of course, if you're not using a Microsoft 365, Windows is going to try to get you to upgrade to the paid service. And also in this flyout, you're going to see the sync status of your files. Now, clicking the button in the path will also reveal this drop-down menu, which this is not new, but what's new is the design, because now it uses the design principle that you see across Windows 11. And finally, the address bar and the search box, they now include rounded corners to better align the design across the desktop. This new version of File Explorer also includes a new gallery view, which is a new way to manage and view your images. The new page includes a new view for pictures identical to the same experience that you will find on the Photos app, as you can see right here, which is technically the same thing. On this page, you will notice that we have large thumbnails, rounded corners, and it also hides the file name and uses a chronological sorting, which you can control with the scroll bar on the right side. And you can jump to different years depending on the images that you have on your library. From this view, we also get different settings as well. For example, we get the new collection menu that basically allows you to manage your collection. What I mean by that is, like, you can, for example, go to manage collection, and here's where you can add and remove folders that will display on this view. Otherwise, by default, it will only show the content on the pictures folder. And if you want to show the images from one specific location, you will open this menu and just switch between the locations right here with these options. There is also a add phone photos, but basically this is a link that will take you to the Microsoft website to download the OneDrive application so you can sync your images from your phone to the cloud so you can access them from here. On this new version of the file manager for Windows 11 version 23H2, now we're going to see that we have a new details pane, which you can open using the button right here, and that will give you more information that you used to in the past. From here you can share, for example, the file, or open the properties and see other details, and the information will depend on the item that you're viewing. Now, as part of the tab system, you can now drag a tab out of the main window to create another instance of File Explorer, and I believe you can also drag it back in. The one thing I noticed about the new File Explorer is that you might notice that it's slower than in previous versions, and that's basically everything that's new with File Explorer on Windows 11 version 23H2. Also related to File Explorer, Microsoft is updating the Windows design for the shared experience to align the design with what we see today on Windows 11. One thing that is new is that you can now send files, attachments directly to your contacts on the Outlook app without even having to open the Outlook application. So you just select the file that you want to send, and then just continue with the attachment, and then you can send it out without having to open the email client. You will also notice that on the page we also have a search box that it makes it easier to find contacts that you want to share the file with, and the company is also using the Wi-Fi Direct technology to improve file speeds with the shared experience. Finally, on File Explorer, you can now right click and you will find the share option right on the context menu. Also, thanks to the integration of the Live Archive Open project into Windows 11 version 23H2, the system now includes native support for RAR and 7-zip archival formats. All this means is that you no longer need third-party tools to open different archival formats in addition to zip files. So right now you can open and extract all this extension, including tar, 7z, RAR, and many others. And it all works as if you were working with a zip file. So if you want to extract files from an archival format, you only need to select the file and then you will click the extract all button. And similar to extracting a zip folder, you will get this interface, be able to choose the location to extract the files, and then you just simply click the extract button. And that's it. Just remember that it only works for archival formats that do not have an encryption on it. So if that file has a password, you won't be able to open it with this solution. You will need to install a third-party tool. Also, you can only view and extract files at this time. The creation of these archival formats might come in future updates. If you only need to extract one file, you can always double-click the file and copy what you need and just paste it on the location that you want, and that will trigger the extraction process. Microsoft is also adding design changes to the spotlight icon. When you right-click the icon, you will now see that we have a new interface that gives you more information about the background, and you can switch between the backgrounds available, and actually you can see them in full screen. And there is also this learn button right here that will take you to the Bing result page with more information about that specific image that you're viewing. You can also switch the interface to this minimal design, and you can switch between the different backgrounds available. As part of the experience, the Windows 11 2023 update also changes the behavior and enables the spotlight feature when you use the default or a solid color background before an operating system update. If you turn off the feature, the system will not try to enable Spotlight again on future updates. Also, in this new version of Windows 11, you can use HDR images as background on your computer, and they will actually render in full HDR. Depending on the display that you have, the background will show as HDR or SDR. Now let's look into the new changes for the taskbar and related features. So starting with this new version of Windows 11, the company is bringing back the ability to show labels and ungroup apps on the taskbar, and that's possible with this new combined taskbar and buttons and hide labels, and that is set to always, so the experience will always stay the same. And as you see right now, where all the icons are combined, but you can set the option to never, and that will turn on the feature, so each instance of an application will now show separately, and we're going to see the label for that application as well. And you can also use this option right here, and that will keep the apps ungrouped and showing the labels, but when the taskbar gets full, then once again the system will start grouping the apps together and start hiding labels. If you have a setup with multiple monitors, you can also turn that option right here, and because I only have one monitor, this option is grayed out. In this new version, when you right click the network icon, we're going to see this diagnose network problems option, and when you click it, that will open the Get Help app that will help you to troubleshoot any network issue that you have on your computer. Even further, the company has removed the chat button from the taskbar, so you can no longer find it on the taskbar settings, and instead it's going to pin the Microsoft Teams that is free for everyone. But I already uninstalled it from the computer, so I don't have it right here. Starting on Windows 11 version 23H2, the bell icon on the system tray that actually opens notifications will no longer show a counter. Instead, it will now show a bell icon that will be colorized based on the system accent color whenever you have a new notification. And if there is not new notifications, you will see them as an empty icon. When navigating between desktops, you will now see a label right at the bottom, and there is a new animation when switching between the desktops. Windows 11 now also includes a redesigned value mixer, and it allows you to quickly change the volume from different applications individually, and you can also switch between output devices quickly from this list. And Microsoft even added a new Windows Control V keyboard shortcut to access this new volume mixer directly. Even further, the company made it even easier to turn on the Windows Sonic and Dolby Atmos experience when using the volume mixer, but you need to have that feature installed on your computer. As part of the Start menu changes on the recommended section, which is this one right here, when hovering over files, you will now see a preview. In this case, it will look like this. And if you right click on it, you will also see an option to share that file. But if you're connected with a Active Directory account, you will get a richer preview experience, as you can see right here, with a preview of the contents of the file. But Microsoft said that this feature will also roll out for users using a Microsoft account. In addition, on the All Apps menu, the company now is labeled as System all the components that the company considers that are essential for the operation of Windows 11. Finally, European users will now be required to consent to share data between Windows and other sign-in Microsoft services. If they don't consent, some functionalities may not be available on Windows 11. For example, certain file types on the recommended section of the Start menu will not show up. After installing the 2023 update, you will also find a new Windows Backup application, which enhances the already available backup and restore solution on the operating system. In the app, you can turn on backup for the apps that you acquire from the Microsoft Store, and you can also back up your folders, apps, settings, and credentials. And all this data will be backed up on your OneDrive account. However, this solution is not entirely new, since you can also configure the backup settings from the Settings app, more specifically from the Account section on the Windows Backup Settings page. The experience is straightforward, but it doesn't actually back up your applications to the cloud. Instead, it remembers the apps that you have installed on your computer and their settings, and then at the time of restoration, the system will download and install a fresh copy of the app from the Microsoft Store, and it will restore the settings as well. Once you configure the backup settings, when you're setting up a new device or clean installation, the setup process will prompt you to restore the computer from backup, and if you go through the process, the system will restore the apps, and it will even pin the apps again to the Start menu and Taskbar. However, the apps won't be installed until you click the app from the desktop. It's important to note that the ability to backup apps is only available for the Microsoft Store apps, not those legacy traditional programs. However, the system will remember the non-Microsoft Store apps, but instead of restoring them, when you click the app icon after the restoration, you will be directed to the download page on the internet to download the installer so you can restore the app on your computer. Also remember that this application is very simple. As you can see, there are not options that you can use to restore a specific file or a specific application, even though you can open the OneDrive folder to get to your files. Other than that, the only way to restore anything through the Windows backup process is through the initial setup on a new device or after a clean installation. And that's what's new with the Windows Backup app for Windows 11 version 23H2. On the personalization page, Microsoft is also adding a new dynamic lighting feature that makes it possible to manage lighting accessories without third-party tools. Currently, many accessories rely on highly fragmented third-party apps and integrations. Dynamic lighting allows you to effortlessly set up and customize your device with RGB lights directly from the Settings app. On the page, you will find an option to turn on the feature on and off, and from here you can control the settings globally. So from this page, it will affect all the lightings accessories that you have connected to your computer. If you have other applications to control lighting, you can use the setting to allow those apps to control the lighting. And some of the settings that you can control using this feature is brightness and effects, with the options to change those effects to all those that you see right here. And depending on the effect that you're using, you can also use this option right here that makes it possible for dynamic lighting to match your accessories with the accent color that is currently set on your computer. Depending on the effect that you use, you also get different settings that you can adjust, and you can also customize the color to anything you want. Now, if you actually have connected a supported device, it will also show up here, and when you click that, it will open a different page where you can control the settings for that specific device separately from the global settings. Windows 11 is also improving the passkey experience by allowing you to create and use passkeys with Windows Hello. Once a passkey is created, you can sign in to an application or a service that supports the technology using Windows Hello. In addition, you can use your phone to complete the application login process. So the enrollment process will depend on the service or application that you're using. For example, if you have a Google account, you can create a passkey from the Passkeys page and just using the create a passkey button. And in here, you will be asked to authenticate with your Windows Hello pen or face, depending on the authentication method that you have configured. And when you configure the experience, the next time that you need to sign into your Google account or Google services, you will only need your Windows Hello pen or the form of authentication that you're using. Furthermore, on Windows 11 version 23H2, when you go to the Accounts section, you will find a new passkey settings page that allows you to view and manage your passkeys for different services that you have configured this authentication method. So let's say that we want to remove one of the passkeys. We just go to the page and click right here and just select the delete passkey option. And now the next time that you need to sign in to your Google account, in this case, you will need to use your password. Now, if you created a passkey, you can still use your password, but it's less secure than just having to use Windows Hello in this case. Also, as part of the update on the Task Manager app, the settings page has been updated to match the design language that we see throughout the settings app and across Windows 11. Also, Microsoft says that the dialog boxes that you might see on Task Manager has also been updated with a new design to match the design language of Windows 11. As part of the storage settings on Windows 11 version 23H2, Microsoft is also adding the ability to create and manage virtual drives, including VHD, VHDX, and DEP drives. The settings are available through the disks and values page, and the wizard makes it super easy to create a virtual hard drive, since it will walk you through every step that you need to do. Let's just create, for example, my drive example, and then we're just going to save it in C. Going to use 5 gigabytes, and I'm just going to leave the defaults. Now we're going to initialize the drive, set up a label, write letter, and just use the default settings. You also have some advanced settings that probably you're never going to use, and then we just use the format option, and now the drive should be available through the File Explorer This PC page, as you can see right here. If you have a VHDX or VHD from another computer, you can also use the option to attach it, which is this one right here. Now, the create drive is similar to creating a regular virtual drive, with the difference that Microsoft is targeting this feature for developers to create virtual drives using the resilient file system, which, combined with a new performance mode in the Microsoft Defender antivirus, it can offer even more performance. So in order to create a dep drive, you will simply select the option to create a VHD in this case. And from here, let's just call this dep drive. We're going to save it into the C drive. And here, you're going to need a minimum of 50 gigabytes. And then everything is the same as setting up a virtual hard disk. You also have some advanced settings. And then when you format, the drive will also appear on File Explorer. And when you look at the properties, you will now see that it's using the resilient file system. Microsoft does not recommend to use this solution for typical file storage or to install applications. This is only for testing and for developers. Related to the dep drive feature, on this new version of Windows 11, we also get the new dep home application that improves how developers set up, test, and build applications. The app has been designed to streamline the workflow with several features, including using the Windows Package Manager to make it easier and faster to set up the development environment. So for example, if you need to set up your PC to build applications, you can use this page to add all the applications that you need. And then just through simple clicks, the Windows Package Manager will download and install the apps that you need. You can also connect to GitHub. Let me see if I can find that feature. Well, the extension is right here. And let's just cancel this. And for example, when you go to the clone repository, here you will be able to set up your GitHub account. I already have it set up, but if you're not connected, it will ask you to sign up with your GitHub account. You can also use a configuration file that you can get from other sources or people you know that have set up the computer a certain way and they created a configuration file. You can use that to just with just a few clicks, set up the environment quickly. And like I said before, this is related to the dep drive feature because you get an option right here to create dep drives, but it's actually a shortcut that will open the settings up to the page to create a new virtual drive. And there is also this end-to-end setup that allows you to clone the repositories and install the applications all at once. The application also offers a dashboard with different widgets that you can add and remove with whatever is that you need to have the environment for your development. Windows 11 version 23H2 also brings an updated version of the Settings app that introduces a new homepage with interactive cards representing various devices and account-related settings, grouped by commonly accessed functions. On this case, I have a total of 5 different cards, but the amount will depend on your installation and the features that you have available on your computer. The ones I believe they're going to be available for everyone, that will be the recommended settings, the personalize your device, storage view for your OneDrive account, and the Bluetooth for devices. At the top, we also get some information about the computer, such as the name and the option to rename, and the access to the network settings and Windows Update, which those are clickable and they will take you to those pages. On the advanced display, there is a new option which is not available on my installation that it's called automatically manage color for apps, and basically this expands the auto color management feature to SDR displays. The feature helps to make sure that apps and other contents have accurate colors on the display. To see this option, the computer will need to have the Windows Display Driver model version 3 or greater, AMD RX 400 series or later, or AMD Ryzen processors with the Radeon graphics, or Intel integrated 12th gen or later processors, or a discrete DG1 or later graphics, or NVIDIA GTX 10th gen or later. On power and battery, again, I don't have it here because I'm using a virtual machine, but you're supposed to be able to see a new presence sensing page that allows you to control devices capable of determining your presence near the computer. The page also includes an adaptive dimming feature to dim the display when you look away from the screen. Furthermore, wake on approach, lock on leave, and adaptive dimming are part of the presence sensing experience and can be enabled through the initial setup when you're setting up a new computer or doing a clean installation of Windows 11 while choosing the privacy settings on your computer. The settings are only available on devices with capable presence sensors, and Microsoft also says that it won't collect images or metadata, and all the processing is done locally on the device to maximize privacy. On nearby sharing, the page includes a new option to rename your computer and make it easier to find on the network when using the feature. However, the option only takes you to the page to find the option to rename the PC. Apparently I skipped this, but on the power and battery settings, now when we go to the energy recommendations page, now we're going to see a recommendation to turn on the dark mode to save even more energy. You will also find that the for developers page is now under the system category, and in here there is a new option that is called end task that you have to enable manually, and that will enable you to close unresponsive applications right from the right click context menu of the taskbar, as you can see right here. This option is meant for developers when they're developing applications and the app's not working correctly, so they don't have to go to the task manager to close the application, because that takes more steps. So now this option makes it easier. However, anyone can enable and use this feature. System components is also a new page for version 23H2 and also the October 2023 update. And this page groups all the apps and extensions that Microsoft considered that are essential to operate Windows 11. So they were previously on the install apps page, but because you can't uninstall them, those apps or extensions are now on this page. On Bluetooth and devices, you can now connect to Bluetooth personal area networks. The option appears for paired devices like phones that are sharing the internet over Bluetooth. Also, when you go to the phone link page, now there is an option to disable the feature completely. As part of the networking changes, Windows 11 version 23H2 introduces support for bridging adapters through the netsh command. Also, Passpoint Wi-Fi networks will now support enhanced connection performance and will display the link on the quick settings to provide additional information to users about the venue. And the instant hotspot feature available with Phone Link now supports WPA3. In addition, the operating system adds extra options to the data usage page that allows you for daily and weekly data limits, as you can see right here. And now the page will also show how far a data limit has been exceeded. Another useful feature as part of the network and internet settings, it's now that when you go to the Wi-Fi settings on Manage Node Networks, when you open the connection, you will now see an option to see the Wi-Fi security key, also known as the Wi-Fi password. When you click the button, that will reveal the security key that you can share with other people. I don't have a cellular connection, but Microsoft has said that the cellular page has a new setting to make it easier to use cellular when wireless is available, but the network performance is poor. On the personalization section on the background page, when using the picture option or the slideshow option, it is now possible to use HDR images for the desktop background, and on HDR displays, the actual image will display as HDR. So this means that now you can use those images with the JXR extension to set them as background. We have already seen the changes for dynamic lighting and for the taskbar early on the video. So now let's go to the apps section. And in here, the startup app page, as well as the advanced app settings, you're not going to see more features. Instead, the company is updating the interface to match the design language with the one you see today on Windows 11. On the accounts section, we have already looked into the passkey settings. So we're going to jump into the time and language section. And in here, on the date and time page, we're going to see a new option that allows us to show or hide the time and date in the system tray. As you can see at the bottom, we'll see the time and date, and you can now turn that off. And that's it. Those are pretty much all the most significant changes that you're going to see on the settings app for Windows 11 version 23H2 and after installing the October 2023 update. One thing that is changing on the Microsoft Store on the latest version of Windows 11, it's on the library page, and you will now see that some applications and extensions are labeled as system components. Other things that you're going to see on the App Store for Windows 11 is the new Instant Games feature that allows you to start playing a game directly from the store without having to download or install anything. Microsoft is also making it easier to explore Game Pass subscriptions and discover the latest games on the application. On my virtual machine, I can show you this feature, but as part of the digital inking improvements, it is now possible to use handwriting in text fields, which Microsoft describes as Ink Anywhere. In addition, the update rolls out improvements for accuracy and scratch out gestures for when the user needs to make edits. The improvements are currently available only on English US, and you can manage them through the Pen and Windows Ink page. Oh, and this update also rolls out the version 15 for emoji on Windows 11 with new designs that includes more hearts, animals, and one new smiley face, which is this one right here. On the lock screen, Microsoft also updated the network flyout to align the design that we see today on Windows 11. Microsoft is also updating many of the inbox applications, including Microsoft Paint, Photos, Outlook, Snipping Tool, Notepad, and Clipchamp, among others. The company says that this is part of the new wave of updates, but some of the changes are already available on the current version of Windows 11. So I'm just going to show you some of the changes that you're going to find the next time you open one of these apps. On the Paint app, you're going to find 3 major changes, and that includes the ability to remove background from images, and the only thing that you have to do is to click this option right here, and that would automatically scan the picture and remove the background. Also, the layers feature, which allows you to work with images using layers, just like in Photoshop and other image editing software. So if you want to add a new layer, you just click the plus button. You can also move it around. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to add a new shape. And right here, this layer is on top of the background. But if we move it around, you can see that now the shape is at the back of the image. You can also hide or show layers with this button right here, and you can work on that specific layer, and you can right click a specific layer and access the different options, including to duplicate the layer, merge down, move up and down, and even delete the layer. And because everything moving forward, it's all about AI, the Paint app also adds a co-creator feature that allows you to create images using AI, just like on the web using Bing Chat. So for example, we can ask to create an image of a bear drinking coffee. Then we're going to choose the style, and let's just use the digital art, and then we're going to click the create button, and you will see this number right here. And because everything on AI takes power, Microsoft is just giving you a few tokens that you can use to spend on creating AI images. I think the limit right now is 50, and I already used one to test this out, but now I'm just going to create another one. Now, as you can see, we get 3 variants of the image, and we also get a menu to save that image if we want, and you can just select it to add it to your background. We actually could have, let's delete this and let's create a layer, and that's how you create an image using AI. On the Photos app, one of the biggest addition is the ability to add blur to a background. So when you edit a picture, you will now find a background blur option, and when you click it, the system will automatically detect the background, and you can use the blur intensity option right here to change the intensity of the blur. And the feature also gives you some brush tools. Once you're ready to blur the image, you can click the apply button, and you will see a preview, and you can save it as a copy so you don't have to edit the original image. Microsoft is also updating the Snipping Tool with some AI features that allows you to extract text from content on an image, and it also has an option to protect your sensitive information with text redaction. So let me just show you. Let's just create a new screenshot. In the editor for the Snipping Tool, you're going to find this new option right here, which is called Text Actions. And when you click that button, the system will scan the text that is available on that image, and you have an option to copy all the text. And you can also click the Quick Redact, and if you click that option, it will automatically detect and hide personal information such as phone numbers and email addresses. If you want to control what the redaction does, you can choose the option right here. Of course, you can always, once you click the button, you can select what is it that you want to copy it in this case. Right click on it and you can copy the text, and you can also read the text. And this is how the text redaction looks like. And just to show you how the text extraction works, I'm just going to select the text right here and going to right click on it and use the copy text option. Then I'm going to open Notepad in this case, and you can use a right click, the paste option. And as you can see, now we extracted the text from the image. Since I have the Notepad open already, let's just dive into the new changes. And basically what's new on this new version of the note-taking application is the ability to save the current session. So if you close the app and you don't save any of the changes, when you open it again, it should restore your last session so you don't lose anything that you were doing on that text file. This not only works when you close and open the application, but also if you restart the computer. And finally, as part of the voice access feature, you can now access voice access from the lock screen. As you can see, now we have the option to use it right here. The experience also includes a number of other changes, and I will be leaving a link in the video description with the written version of everything that's new with version 23H2 and the October 23 update. So make sure to check that out for additional information. And that's all there's to it. Those were the most significant features and changes that you're going to find on the latest version of Windows 11 in 2023. Remember to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And I just hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.